Story 1. How to cook. And I'm not saying that you have to become a world-class chef, but everyone should at least know how to fry an egg so you don't starve to death. Story 2. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, whether it's for adults, children, or animals. Some people might have only seen it on a show or movie and think they can perform it without the proper training. For all we know, there could have been changes in the general procedure for performing cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Correct me if I am wrong, but I believe there were also recent updates to the cardiopulmonary resuscitation guidelines. Story 3. Technology is progressing, and computers are part of our daily lives. Learning the 10-finger typing method to type properly will save you so much time, and it is way more comfortable than constantly searching for the proper key on the keyboard. Story 4. Basic car maintenance. The prices you pay for a mechanic in labor alone are insane. Warranted and earned, but insane. I just replaced a fuel pump in my old Pontiac. The part was $90. If I had a shop do it, it would have been $600 in labor alone. Story 5. Changing a tire on a car is only a 20-minute job and not really difficult. It saves money and waiting time in garages for important things instead of waiting for days for an appointment just because people want to get their tires changed. I don't know how the situation is in other countries, but in my country we have summer and winter tires. We have to change to winter tires because it's an insurance requirement. Story 6. Critical reasoning skills. The ability to read between the lines, recognize fallacies, recognize rhetoric, apply context, and understand argumentation theory is going to benefit you in every aspect of life, from politics to entertainment, to safety, and to finances. Story 7. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And being able to control your emotions in tough situations, being able to verbally de-escalate and calm other people in a tense or volatile situation. Story 8. I'm unable to fulfill this request. Story 9. How to Google. Many times, I have heard some questions that might seem unnecessary. Where can I buy something? Have you Googled it? No. Why don't you then? Being uninformed is a choice nowadays. Story 10. Everyone should be brought up to the highest level of reading comprehension and math that they are capable of as fast as they can get there during primary and secondary school. Story 11. People need to learn how to speak properly without saying, and every other word. That really drives me up a wall. If you say, more than once while talking, I'm going to call you out on it. It makes you sound timid and uneducated about what you are speaking about. Slow down and think about your words before you say them, so you don't need to add unnecessary filler. Story 12. How to make a perfect grilled cheese sandwich. It may not seem like a necessary skill, but trust me, it will come in handy when you are broke and all you have in the fridge is bread, cheese, and butter. Story 13. You should know what or how to do your taxes. I'm tired of hearing it's too hard. Go learn it. It was too hard for your parent or legal guardian to get up and take you to school, but they did it anyway. Story 14. I learned to sew up holes in my clothes. You can't even tell that I've sewed them up either. I go to the gym a lot and do a lot of walking/cardio, so I get holes in my shorts between the legs. Shorts are extremely expensive now. For a single pair, usually 20 to 35 pounds each, so I started sewing up the holes. It was a complete pain at first, but as I've done it a few times now, I've gotten a lot quicker at it and I've saved money in the process. Story 15. Communication skills. Going by the idea that issues stem from inadequate communication where one side is then able to capitalize on the other's disadvantage. I think knowing how to communicate to defend and assert your rights is very important. Story 16. Very basic maintenance on a motor vehicle involves reading the manuals of cars. If you are going to try to top up your oil, consult the manual, look it up, or pay a technician. The number of people I've seen pouring engine coolant directly into their engine where oil goes, or vice versa, before we could stop them outside our store is ludicrous. These are Porsches, Mercedes, and BMWs, by the way. Not cheap to repair. Story 17. How to cook doesn't have to be super fancy, but feeding yourself saves money. Basic maintenance on a car. You may not have the skills to fix major things, but by doing the small stuff, they don't turn into major things. House care. Cleaning well means cleaning less often. Knowing where all your shutoffs are could save you a much bigger issue later. Poke your head under your sinks and really look at the plumbing. If it's dry, then move on. Most of life's really big issues start off as minor annoyances. Taking care of minor issues tends to keep you out of major trouble. Story 18. Simple auto maintenance such as changing a tire, connecting jumper cables, changing head or tail light bulbs, and checking your oil are all tasks that repair shops or roadside services charge high prices for. Story 19. How to research, such as using Google, YouTube, DuckDuckGo, and others to answer questions. Apparently, it's rare, with the dumb questions being asked multiple times a day on here. Why trust experts now when unqualified individuals will answer over the next week? Story 20. Problem-solving skills start as simply as learning how to use Google properly. Many problems, work-related or otherwise, could be solved by a quick Google search. Way too many people just push their stuff onto someone else's desk instead of taking action themselves. Story 21. Everyone should learn how to cook. You'll save yourself a lot of money in the long term, and you'll find a lot of the takeaways you're buying can be made a lot better and for cheaper. Story 22. If you plan on wearing a suit or taking any public transport, consider tying a tie. It's not just for you. I find you help a lot more people than you think who might just need a hand on their way to an interview, or in my case, my dad on the day of my wedding. Otherwise, I'd say recharging your car's air conditioning is the most overpriced service mechanic shops offer, and it's probably the easiest thing to do on a car. Story 23. Cooking. You are going to be eating every day until you die, so why not have the ability to make a wide array of delicious food? Cooking will also save you money in the long run from getting takeout or quick meals, and it makes it much easier to control your diet. Story 24. Basic sewing. I'm not talking about how to sew with a machine, but knowing how to fix little things with a needle and thread. Sometimes people ask me to fix simple stuff, whether they have tried to fix it themselves or not. However, if they have tried to fix it 9 times out of 10, it's botched and makes it harder to fix. Story 25. To use the Reddit search function, follow these steps. 1. Open your web browser and navigate to the Reddit website. Locate the search bar at the top of the page. Type in your search query. For example, you could enter "what's a skill you think everyone should learn" without quotes. Press enter or click the search icon to initiate the search. You can restrict your search to a specific subreddit by checking the option "Limit my search to /r/AskReddit." If you are searching within the AskReddit community, browse through the search results to find the information you are looking for. This is a simple way to efficiently use Reddit's search function to find discussions or information relevant to your interests. Story 26. Self-management and self-governance are essential, especially if you work remotely. If you lack something or knowledge in a particular area, you should have the skills to seek information. It might sound very basic, but if you explore career groups online, they are filled with individuals searching for remote work yet lack the motivation to seek information. Story 27. Every human on Earth should be able to clearly understand their life problems, write them down, and logically or statistically approach solving them. I don't know if there are shorter words for the above explanation. Story 28. Basic drawing and shading of forms like cubes, spheres, and so on, along with a little bit of vanishing point perspective. When I undertake a do-it-yourself house project, it includes drawings. It helps me understand what my plan is. But not just that. If I need help, I can take the drawing to Home Depot and ask for assistance, and they can see what I'm doing. Story 29. Basics of technology. It is growing so quickly, and most people do not know the basics. My job is 90% turning it off and back on. The other 10% is a more serious problem. Story 30. Basic life skills, and these should absolutely be taught at home and at school, include finance, cooking, and cleaning. My son is 19, and his friends, who are the same age, can't even do laundry or wash dishes properly. Story 31. Learn not to be disrespectful. You don't have to be a saint, but a small amount of common courtesy is helpful. It would take you 5 seconds to hold a door for someone or let them into gridlock traffic, or simply not make their lives any harder than it already is. It really doesn't cost you to be nice. Story 32. Math ability helps develop your problem-solving skills regardless of whether the actual math is useful. and can help you think of solutions you otherwise would have ignored. Story 33. Observation. The amount of people I have worked with who have done ridiculously stupid things with the excuse, "I did not notice," is staggeringly high, whether they are low-level employees or management. Being aware of your surroundings and paying attention to details makes so many things go much smoother both for you and those you work with. Story 34. Even if it's compressions only, the chances of surviving a cardiac arrest outside of a hospital setting are minimal at best. At least by doing cardiopulmonary resuscitation, you're keeping the chances from getting worse. Story 35. Basic car maintenance. I can't tell you how much money I've saved by fixing my car myself. My friend recently paid over $500 to get her alternator fixed when she could have paid $100 to get a new part, and I would have changed it for her. I recently changed my own brakes, and it cost me no more than $45 and an hour of time. Mechanics are so expensive, and they upcharge whenever they can. Get a basic tool set, a YouTube tutorial, and the part you need from AutoZone and you're set. Story 36. A very important skill is excellent memory, but it may not seem useful for everyone. So, I recommend things like emotional control, which involves stress management, and discipline that can help in pretty much everything. Story 37. I believe everyone should learn basic financial literacy. Understanding how to manage money, budget, and save is crucial no matter what career path you choose. It empowers you to make informed decisions and avoid financial stress. Story 38. Typing. Also, being a server teaches time and money management. It shows how to think on your feet and be polite in unpleasant situations. This involves working with people you don't like and who treat you poorly. Finally, it demonstrates how to treat service people in your personal life. It's also pretty much the same all over the country, so you'll have a skill to fall back on if needed. Story 39. How to sew. Everyone wears clothes, and all clothes have the potential to rip or tear. Everything is so expensive now. I'm not saying you have to hand make all your clothing, but are you going to spend another $60 on a pair of jeans you really liked? Or less than $5 on a needle and thread and 20 minutes to fix the ones you already have? Story 40. I would say it's twofold, medical and behavioral. I think it's really important to learn how to deal with basic medical emergencies with your family and loved ones. For example, 1. Chest compressions. 2. Choking management for both infants and adults. 3. How to use an EpiPen. 4. Thermal and chemical burns. Behaviorally, don't forget to smile when you meet new people. Life's too short to be brooding all the time. Story 41. Not particularly a skill, but being more open to taking and making phone calls. Yes, it's easier and perhaps less stressful to chat or email. You just don't like talking on the phone for various reasons, but at a certain point, you need to get over that hump and get used to using the phone. Story 42. Cooking. You have no idea how many men I met back in my dating days who didn't know how to do something as simple as chopping an onion or separating an egg. I could never figure out how any of them managed to feed themselves. Everyone should be able to cook. Story 43. Time and schedule management. Know where your day is taking you. Anticipate delays. Be on time and ready. Being chronically late, especially to your job, just makes you look immature and inconsiderate. Story 44. Basic finances, including loans, interest, and simple investments. How to change tires and oil in your car. It's not rocket science. If you have disc brakes, those are pretty easy too. How to unclog a toilet. It's amazing how many people waste $300 on a plumber when you could get a $30 toilet auger and a $10 plunger from Home Depot and have it good as new in 10 minutes. How to entertain, in your mind, an idea you disagree with by steel-manning an opposing viewpoint. Story 45. The crap test for sources. Current, for example, not a medical article from 1922 being applied to today's practice. Reliable, is it published, peer-reviewed, are there references? Authority, is this person an expert in their field? Point of view, what are the potential biases of the author? Is it strangely tailored to an audience bias? Story 46. I have automobile club membership plus a smartphone. That being said, if I have a flat tire and I'm in an area with no reception, I can definitely change my own tire. Story 47. Basic cooking skills. You don't need to be Gordon Ramsay, but knowing how to make more dishes than noodles with pesto or instant ramen makes for so much more quality of life and health. 10 simple dishes can be all you need, and if you're creative, you can combine some of them. I honestly don't get how there are people who refuse to learn how to cook. Story 48. Basic first aid, basic cooking skills, how to budget. Also, it's really underrated, but having a circle of friends and/or a hobby you enjoy is super important for mental health in the long run. Also, figuring out some form of exercise that you enjoy and can do a few times a week is essential. Story 49. A healthy level of skepticism is essential for making informed decisions, especially in a world filled with so much information and misinformation. The ability to question and critically evaluate information, claims, or situations is vital without falling into cynicism or outright disbelief. Story 50. Basic tax preparation. Even if you don't prepare your own, at least know the basics so you can understand why you have a big balance due or refund. Better yet, so you can plan your balance due or refund. And this advice comes from someone whose livelihood depends on tax preparation done by professionals.